Hello everyone, I am Monwell Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking a sheepish look at Spark, the electric jester. And this is a PC game currently undergoing Kickstarter on, well, Kickstarter, and as you can tell quite clearly, it is a 2D side-scrolling platformer in the vein of Sonic the Hedgehog. And this has been developed by the same guy who's done the fantastic Sonic the Hedgehog fan games known as Sonic the Hedgehog before the sequel and after the sequel. And they are amazing fan games, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I would advise you to check them out if you have a PC. And to be fair, this is like a hybrid game of Sonic the Hedgehog, Kirby, and some other game as well that's not coming to mind at my minute. And honestly, it's a fantastic little platform from what I can play. Obviously, this is really early footage. This is nowhere near a completed product, as the game's just come out on Kickstarter. Like, at the time of this recording, it's got 20 days left of the Kickstarter, and it's just finished funding. And honestly, I do recommend you guys to have a quick look at this and check it out, because there is a demo available on the Kickstarter page, which is the same demo this footage is of. And it's just a neat little game where we need to collect... Basically, we just need to go from point A to point B in each of these stages. And each stage is really massive, by the way. There's so many alternate paths you can take. So I can see pretty much not one playthrough is going to be the same, as certain people get further and further on. You know, as people learn the layout of this game, I can see this game becoming a lot more of a speedrunning game, you know, kind of like Freedom Planet. In fact, I get a hell of a lot of Freedom Planet vibes from this game, including an issue that I had early on in Freedom Planet, where the game sort of has a minor frame rate issue when it's in full screen. I think that's primarily due to the game engine, and I know Freedom Planet used the same game engine as this one, if I recall correctly. Actually, no, that's a lie. Freedom Planet used Sonic Worlds. This is a multimedia fusion game. But I digress. Anyway, in terms of Arsenal, Spark here can jump, he can wall jump, he can attack, and he can charge up NG blasts by holding down the attack button. And we need to make use of each of these powers in order to progress through the stage. And as he also has Mega Man X's dash power. That's the third game, Mega Man. It's like a mixture of Kirby, Sonic, and Mega Man. Okay, just, I had to, that was bugging me. But, yeah, for the most part, we're just going to be running through stages and what have you. And I have to say, the soundtrack, oh my god, this is the biggest thing I'm excited for with this game, apart from the gameplay, of course, because it's a game. But the music, the soundtrack of this demo, alone, is just stunning. It fits each level you're in, and it just gives you that high energy sort of, okay, I'm doing platforming, I'm playing a really old school classic 16-bit styled adventure akin to what you may find on the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive. And one of the unique things I kind of like about this game is there are tons and tons of power-ups that you can unlock. Well, not so much unlock, but you can find during the course of your journey, and they sort of act exactly like the power-ups in Kirby, where they completely change your gameplay style depending on what you have equipped at the time. And I love the way they're done, I really do. As you can tell, though, there is no suck-in ability, so you don't suck in the enemies like Kirby does. You do have to find the power-ups throughout stages in a traditional sense, but just the way they're handled in pretty much the exact same way as Kirby. And you can also do a charge shot, kind of like Mega Man, if you hold down the attack button. I think I mentioned that already. And one of the things I like to do with that is I like to shoot downwards, because you can actually use that as like an extra boost ability to jump higher. And I can see loads of potential game-breaking, well, not so much game-breaking, I can see loads of speedrunning people using this to their advantage if this game can, well, this game will come out, it's being kickstarted, when this game's fully released, you know? But yeah, it just seems like a fun time, it seems like a fun little game, and as far as I'm concerned with the demo, I think the guy's name is Lake Leopard or something, or Fake Leopard, one of the two. His demo sold me on the game already. As soon as I can get the chance to, or if I can get the chance to at all, I will be backing this, and I do advise you guys to do so as well if you like the look of it. You can even try out the demo as well, you know. I don't think the demo will be very hard to run just because it's a, well, it's a 2D platformer, you know, folks. And apparently the final game isn't going to have any DRM of any kind. It's going to be at most it's going to be on Steam in terms of DRM stuff, which I kind of like. And this is a lot slower paced than Sonic the Hedgehog, as you can clearly tell as well, folks. So if you don't like Sonic's speed, but you like Sonic's gameplay, this is kind of like a good compromise, you know, folks, because it is pretty. This speed in very rare circumstances, you know, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best things I do kind of like about this game is like the sort of combo battle system that is in place, in which case if you hit an enemy multiple times in a certain way, you're able to gain a much more powerful attack in order to drain enemy health bars. This is extremely effective against boss fights. As you can see by here, I hit an enemy a couple of times and a little blue bar will show up on the top of the screen. Once it hits full and starts flashing, I can charge up my energy blast till it hits blue and it does massive damage, and I love this. I can see so many potential speed runs making use of this in boss fights in order to clear through things as quickly as possible, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know how much level variety is going to be in the final product, because in the demo there is currently only 3 stages. And from what I can tell, they're going to go... This game is going to be designed in a similar way as Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's going to be an Act 1 level, it's going to be an Act 2 level, and then it's going to move on to a completely different stage altogether. That's why I think the final game is going to end up like... Don't quote me on any of this, because all this stuff is just speculation on my part, because I have never really... I'm not in contact with the developer of this game or anything, you know, folks. But yeah, I am really digging the look of this game. I am digging what I've played of it so far, so there's that. And in this particular stage by here, we're going to see a couple of the power-ups that are going to be in the game, including this one. This is the wind power-up. It allows us to do double jumps and a sort of triple jump as well, and if we stand next to a wall, so we can sort of Mega Man X our way up a wall. And this is mainly a platforming power. And in terms of what powers you can expect to find in the final product, I don't know, because they haven't all been announced just yet. However, I do know there's going to be a rather large variety, and depending on how successful the Kickstarter is, he will be adding more power-ups later down the line. Like, if the Kickstarter is successful enough, he'll even be adding something in that's... From what I can tell by the name of it, it's going to be the equivalent of a super form. And of course, you know me, I love my super forms in video games. Super forms are the shit, yo. Like this power up right here is a zero gravity power up. It basically makes platforming my bitch, but it basically destroys all combat capabilities I have. So I need to switch out forms by pushing one of the buttons, and yeah, there's that. And currently at this point in time, there's only 2 major problems I have with this game, which is there's a frame rate issue that happens that I don't understand why. Like, whenever I'm playing the full screen, the frame rate will just plummet and die. And for a short period of time, Freedom Planet also had this exact same frame rate issue. Obviously, it doesn't anymore because Freedom Planet's fixed, and I actually did an LP of the game. But when I first got the game, it had a major frame rate issue. And also a second issue I have is with the controls, because currently the only control setups that are in store with this game are some really basic controller functionality. Like, you can't modify your controls in any way. There's no default Xbox 360 control prompts or anything like that, which kind of makes me kind of sad, because the 360 controller, or Xbox One controller in my case, have sort of become like the PC. They become the go-to PC controller, so I was kind of hoping that I was hoping that would be a feature in this game. So maybe he's planning on integrating proper controller support later down the line, but as things are right now, the control support is really minimal. All the controls are really... You're lucky if your control scheme is set up to good buttons, basically. That's what I'm getting at here. But, yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically all there is to talk about here. We have a neat little mechanic as well, that if we collect enough collectibles, we will be able to... If we die, we'll be able to respawn in on the spot as well, which I think is kind of a neat mechanic that's... can be quite useful if we're having a particular tricky boss battle. Not this one, for example. This boss battle is actually pretty damn easy, but you know, it's early days yet, and I'm kind of quite looking forward to this game. I have no idea what the plot's going to be. As far as I'm concerned, you play as this jester who's lost his job to a superior jester, and that's about all I can make out of the plot so far. So I'm kind of interested to hear more about the plot as time goes on later down the line. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this. So thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish, and yeah, feel free to check this out on Kickstarter. There's going to be a link in the description for you guys to check out, which I do recommend. By the way, the guy who made this game also did an LP, well, the guy who made this game, like I said, did Sonic the Hedgehog before the sequel. I've also just done an LP of that game not long ago as well. I'm just saying, hint hint, wink wink, nudge nudge. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again. Bye!